Greetings and salutations, viewers. I'm StarPrincessHLC, and welcome back to Cupid. When I last left off, we're still kind of in a flashback here where Catherine is upset over what happened with Rosa in a previous episode. She went to Gamma to try and get comfort, but something might have gone wrong because I guess the two of them were making love, and the way it was talking, it almost kind of sounded like Gamma was like possessing her with a demon or something. It was kind of weird. But now we're here with Rosa, who's standing in front of the door to Catherine's room, her hand raised to knock, but she is not moving. Let's see what happens. Doubt was creeping into her mind like a spider crawling on a wall. She remembered the feeling of hunger from the night they had kissed. It was both familiar and utterly alien, like an instinct, an urge she hadn't felt for a long time. A shiver ran down her spine at the memory. She's avoiding me, isn't she? She hadn't seen Catherine for a few days since that night. Wow, they've been having sex that long? Damn. She had been spending a lot of her time alone, locked away in her room. Whenever Rosa saw her in the chateau, she would excuse herself and leave. Rosa never got the courage to push the issue. But days had passed, and Catherine's behavior began to worry her even more. Mother, you are terrible at giving advice. Just saying. She's selfish like everyone else?
What did you expect? She's selfish just like everybody else. She used you as an experiment, and now that her curiosity is sated, she's done with you. You don't matter to her. You probably never did. Which is a good thing, darling. You see her true face.
Mother is very emotionally abusive.
No matter. She's never going to love you like Mother does. Like all the others, she's going to leave you in the end, and then you're all alone. Only Mother will stay with you forever and love you. So be a good child and listen to what I tell you.
Rosa bit her lower lip. This was all her fault, wasn't it? She needed to make it right. If Rosa talked to her properly, she was sure they would come to an understanding. She had to explain to her. What exactly? They had both been drunk, and the kisses didn't mean anything. Her stomach churned at this thought. In the end, it didn't matter what Rosa wanted. Catherine obviously regretted what had happened. She didn't want to lose her friend because of too much wine. Rosa gently knocked on Catherine's door. Catherine, may I come in? Please, Catherine, I'm sorry for the mess, but can we talk? Rosa waited for an answer. None came. Rosa turned the handle slowly and entered. Usually Catherine's room was brightly lit. The windows let in a fresh breeze, often carrying the sweet smell of flowers in spring. Right now, however, the curtains were drawn closed. The few candles burning on a desk weren't enough to banish the darkness completely. The air hung heavy in the room. Catherine didn't turn around when the door opened. She just stood there, unmoving, in front of a wall. The sounds of something scratching along a rough surface filled the air. Rosa felt a shiver run down her spine at this sound, and her muscles tensed instinctively. She approached Catherine slowly and apprehensively. When she came closer, she could hear that Catherine was whispering the same few words over and over again.
He loves me. He loves me not.
Catherine giggled.
He loves me. He loves me not.
Catherine, are you all right? Rosa stepped next to Catherine and peered at her outstretched hand. In the dim light, it took a moment for her to make sense of what she saw. Whoa, Catherine was scratching at the wall. The damage she had done to the wall was nothing compared to what she had done to her fingers.
Kath?
Oh my god, Catherine, stop! Holy cow! Look at her picture. Ugh! She's not doing too good. Rose's guts twisted horribly. She grabbed Catherine's shoulder to turn her around, away from the wall. She blinked a couple times before finally reacting to Rose's presence. Tears welled up in Catherine's bloodshot eyes at the sight of her friend, spilling over her pale cheeks and chapped lips. She held on tightly to Rosa and started sobbing uncontrollably. Cath, what's going on? Why are you hurting yourself? Catherine tried to pull herself together as best she could, wiping her nose on the sleeve of her soiled dress. It was heart-wrenching to look at the mess that her friend had become. Oh boy. She's gone cuckoo bonkers.
Oh, Rosa, you need to help me. You need to protect me from him. Don't let him touch me.
Who? Let him what? What do you need me to protect you? Suddenly, Catherine shushed her, a finger to her lips, and with a scarred expression on her face. She leaned an ear towards the door and listened intensely for a moment.
Oh, he's here?
The scarred expression turned into manic and frightening glee.
I think he's coming. Guillermo, honey. Guillermo, I love you.
After yelling the last words, Catherine started sobbing again, with more tears streaming down her face. It could be screaming down her face, too. She'd be crying, all of a sudden you just hear, ah! Before Rosa could try to console her sobs faded into hysterical laughter. It barely left time for her to gasp for breath.
Oh, Guillermo, I love the way you pull me close to hug me. And how kind you are to everyone you meet. And your eyes.
What's going on here? Guillermo stood in the door, frowning. His eyes wandered across the room and caught sight of Catherine. His face froze in shock. Catherine stared wide-eyed for a second. Then she snarled at him like a ferocious animal.
You bastard! Get out of my room! Get lost!
She stormed over to the desk and grabbed a letter opener from the table. With this weapon in a firm grip and malice in her eyes, she rushed to Guillermo.
Don't you dare show your face to me!
Catherine, no! The knife plunged into Guillermo's arm. Blood quickly stained his sleeve red, but Catherine only recoiled to strike back, with no hint of stopping. Oh my god! Wow, it's like, 1 minute she's like, I love you, then all of a sudden, die! Catherine! They wrestled for a moment until Guillermo was able to grab Catherine's hand. She dropped the letter opener and slumped to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Rosa quickly picked up the blade and stepped out of reach. When she turned around again, Guillermo had already pulled Catherine into a tight embrace. Between her sobs and hiccups, Rosa could hear her apologizing.
Oh God, I'm so sorry, Guillermo. What? I'm so sorry. Do you love me? Please, Guillermo, do you love me?
She repeated the question over and over again, no matter how many times Guillermo reassured her. It was probably a good idea to find something to calm her down. Stay away from the booze! Like, seriously, stay away from the booze. Ugh. Rosa didn't feel completely at ease doing so, but she left her friend alone with the Marquis for a few minutes. Later she returned with a glass of water, laced with valerian root. Guillermo had already coaxed Catherine to lie down on her bed, while Rosa helped her drink the nightcap. They watched her in silence as she drifted into a fitful sleep. Guillermo and Rosa left the room. They didn't speak for a while, both dazed and shocked by the turn of events. I would say so. Their friend just went cuckoo, crazy, ballistic on them. Or on him in particular. How is your arm? Guillermo hid the injured arm away from view. Fine. Just a scratch. 'Tis but a flesh wound. The bleeding hadn't stopped yet. Rosa could tell the cut was deeper than Guillermo let on. What is happening? What has gotten into Catherine? Gimme just shrugged with a cold expression of worry on his face.
I wish I knew, Rosa. The state she is in scares me, to be honest. It might be an onset of an episode waiting to happen, like her sister before.
Rosa's mouth tightened.
How dare you say that? She is not crazy.
I beg to differ. Rosa searched his face for traces of a lie, but it was like a mask contorted by worry. She couldn't tell whether he was lying or telling the truth. She asked me to protect her from you. Did you hurt her?
Oh no, I wouldn't. She is unwell. It seems I am the target of her psychotic state. That is all I know.
But why?
Stop. Stop it, Rosa. It hurts me too, seeing her like this. Please stop questioning me further.
How dare you try to get information out of me that I may or may not have access to?
I'm going to call for a physician. Please stay with her in the meantime.
Hopefully she doesn't attack me next.
See that she doesn't harm herself again.
Well, what if she tries to harm me? Have you forgotten about me? I've already lost one eye. For a moment, he met her eyes. Or eye. Before she could say any more, however, she turned around and left.
See if his pets have caught fire yet, child.
There was nothing she could do about him for now. Rosa left to get a bowl of fresh water and a towel to tend to Catherine's fingers. Catherine had an uneasy sleep while Rosa cleaned her wounds as best she could. She muttered, squealed, and whimpered like a child. It seemed that she was having a nightmare, but Rosa didn't dare wake her before the physician arrived. Instead, she stroked her hair, told her that everything would be all right. She tried to appease the growing confusion of voices in her head. What had happened between Catherine and Guillaume? Their relationship was often erratic, but Rosa dismissed the possibility that this was one of their usual fights. Rosa remembered Catherine's face, filled with utter spite at the man. She had never seen that much hatred in Catherine. After a few minutes, Catherine's eyes fluttered open. She looked around with some confusion, then her gaze settled on Rosa. Tears welled up in her eyes.
Rosa.
Rosa held her outstretched hand. Her heart broke when she saw Catherine wince.
Oh, Rosa, I'm so scared. Everything is such a mess.
It's going to be all right, Cath. Don't worry now. Just try to sleep some more.
No, you don't understand.
Catherine tried to sit up, but Rosa pushed her down gently. You need rest, Cath.
I hate him. This is all his fault.
She sniffed, but settled down on her pillow once more. When she spoke again, it was in a whisper.
Rosa,
She chewed on her dry, chapped lips for a moment, as if she couldn't get the words out.
I don't think I love him anymore.
What? A dry sob escaped her, followed by tears rolling down her cheeks. Had Catherine really just said that?
But I don't understand this. When I think of him,
Her voice cracked. She shuddered under the blanket like an ill breeze had just sprung up in the room.
It's like bugs are crawling under my skin. I can't bear to look at him anymore. I just can't. I can't even say his name.
Why? Do you remember when exactly you started feeling this way?
That night.
Rosa winced. Catherine covered her face with her hands.
It was a horrible night.
Rosa's chest hurt. Was this her fault? She didn't know what she had done, but didn't she do something to her? I'm sorry. Catherine went on like she hadn't heard her.
I went to his room. We spent the night together.
Rosa waited for Catherine to continue, but the girl stared blankly. She just stopped speaking as if forgetting she ever spoke at all. Cath, did he hurt you that night?
No. Maybe?
Catherine shook her head.
I don't know.
She grabbed her head and sobbed. The grip on Rosa's heart tightened.
How can this be?
Her eyes drowned in tears.
I love him, Rosa, don't I? I remember everything. I love him, I know I do. I'm sure I do. But I hate him too, to the very core.
I want to hurt him and punish him for something. I want to snuff out the breath from his throat. But sometimes Catherine's eyes went blank. I just don't care for him at all. Sometimes I feel nothing. Nothing at all. And that scares me more. She laid on the bed, quiet now, letting the tears flow out of her eyes without wiping them. I'm going mad, Rosa. Catherine. I am, aren't I? Like my sister. Like my mother. It runs in our blood. They said I am a child of a mad woman. They said I'm going to turn out exactly like her. Rosa stroked her hair and tried her best to soothe her, saying that everything would be all right. They were empty words, but she didn't know what else to say. She wanted them to be true so badly, for her friend's sake as well as her own. Was Gammy really the cause of Catherine's confusion and pain? Pangs of guilt pricked her like tiny needles. Or was this her fault?
Rubbish, you fool! This is all his fault. I can feel it. We must get to the bottom of this.
God damn it, Mother, this is not the time. Yes, Mother. Rosa looked down on her best friend and nodded slightly to herself. Everything will be all right, Catherine, I promise. She would make it all right, somehow. She had to. The physician arrived shortly, but he did little to help Catherine. Catherine never regained her personality. She remained moody and irritable, breaking out into fits of hysterical laughter or heartbreaking sobs at seemingly random intervals. Kieme and Rosa would take turns to tend to her. Her moods fluctuated, her temper uncontrollable. There were times she begged for attention from Kieme, almost clinging to him in despair, never letting him out of her sight. Other times she couldn't stand his very presence. Soon neither Kieme nor Rosa could console her anymore. She withdrew entirely from the household. She starved herself, stopped coming to the meals, stopped caring for herself. Her manic episodes degraded to long stretches of blank silence. Emptiness ruled her life. Looking at her eyes in those last days, it was like a fire had been snuffed out behind them. Like the star that had been shining through them had imploded. Are we gonna get a shot of her dead now? Oh, we're on into chapter 5 already. Damn. That was a long-ass chapter, by the way. Just saying. Well, it's probably a good place to stop for now, just because it's like, wow, that was intense. That was insane. That was quite a ride. Kind of seeing her downfall from, the beginning of the relationship with Kieme to her timely death. Seeing her slowly pivot downwards into her, into herself in a way. Curious to see where it's going to go from there, but for now, this is StarPrincessHLC saying, thank you very much for watching, and have a fond farewell.